Hi everyone, and welcome to this video on working out the angle of a triangle using the sine rule. So we're going to start off really simple and we are going to take a look at this formula. Okay, now this is a formula that it would be pretty helpful to know because you are given part of this formula in the formula sheet, but it's the formula to work out the side of a triangle using the sine rule, which we looked at in our previous video. But there's nothing much really changed. All that's changed is that the numerators have gone to the denominator and the denominators have gone to the numerator. The fraction has just switched. Okay, so it's sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C. Okay, this is the formula that we are going to be using. Now, first of all, step one to working out the answer to any question that involves the sine rule or the cosine rule is label. So we've got label the triangle. Okay, and remember the corners are of capital letters and the sides are of lowercase letters. Okay, so we've got capital A, side opposite A is going to be lowercase a. We've got capital B, side opposite A is going to be lowercase b. We've got capital C, side opposite A is going to be lowercase c. And then step two is going to be discard the side we don't need. Okay, so as you can see, we don't know anything about A, so we're going to discard A, the side and the corner. Okay, we don't need the letter A, so we're just going to get rid of it. Okay, because it doesn't give us any additional information. Okay, and because we've ruled out A, we're going to rule out A from our formula as well. So our new formula that we are left with is now sine B over B equals sine C over C. Okay, now we know what B and C's are, so all we're going to do is we're going to substitute in our values. Okay, so we know that capital B is 95, so we've got sine 95 over lowercase b, which is 6.7. That's equal to sine capital C, which is x, so it's going to be sine x over lowercase c, which is 5.4. Okay, so now what we are working with is this. Okay, now I'm going to bring this to the other side. So we've got sine 95 over 6.7 equals sine x over 5.4. Now we want to work out the value of x. We want to work out that value. Okay, how are we going to do that? Well, we need x by itself. So first of all, let's get rid of this divide by 5.4. Okay, now to get rid of something that's dividing, you need to do the opposite, which is multiply. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply 5.4 to the other side. Okay, because we're doing the opposite. So we're going to have sine 95 over 6.7 multiplied by 5.4. And that's going to get rid of this 5.4 and we're going to be left with sine x. Okay, but again, we don't want sine x, we want just this x. And in order to get that x, we need to get rid of this sine. How are we going to do that? Well, the opposite of sine is inverse sine. So remember, if we want to get rid of anything, we need to do the opposite of it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to take the inverse of sine. Okay, and inverse of sine is just sine negative 1. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have sine negative 1 brackets sine 95 over 6.7 multiplied by 5.4. Okay, that's what we're going to have, and that's going to be equal to x. So just bear in mind what I've done there. I've just taken the inverse of sine. Okay, and because we had sine, normal sine on this side, the opposite of that, to get rid of that, we need to inverse sine the other side. Okay, and that's why I've inverse signed the other side of the equation, and that's got rid of this sine x that we originally had. And remember, you need to inverse sine everything on this side of the equation. So you need to inverse sine the fraction and the 5.4 as well. Okay, now once we're at this stage, all we can do is we can substitute our equation into our calculator. Okay, so we've got sine -1, we've got sine 95 divided by 6.7 multiplied by 5.4, close your brackets, and you should get an answer of 53.40823774. Now the question does say give your answer to 3 sig figs. So what we're going to do is we're going to count. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We're going to cut it off here. 0 rounds down, so our answer is going to be 53.4 degrees. Okay, and this question was worth 3 marks. Okay, so again, if we go through how we solve this question, first of all, you label your triangle. With any question involving the sine or cosine rule, you have to label your triangle. And then you discard the side which you don't need. So you're left with a really much simplified formula, which we have here. Then you substitute in the values that you're given on the triangle, and then you rearrange to find out the value of x. Okay, now I do have another question which we're going to go through, and it's really similar. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to label our triangle. Now, because we're given the letters of the corners already, we're going to work from that. So capital A, opposite A is going to be lowercase a. Capital B, opposite A is going to be lowercase b. And capital C, opposite A is going to be lowercase c. Now, the question says work out the size of angle BAC. Now, BAC is just going to be B to A to C. Okay, so it's going to be this angle. Somehow, some people remember it by looking at the middle letter, and that's going to be the angle. In this case, it's going to be A, which is the angle, but that's ultimately X, what we're trying to work out. Okay, now which letter do we not need? As you can see, we don't know anything about B, so we're just going to discard B, because it's irrelevant to the question. We need A and C, so we're going to discard B from this formula as well. Okay, so what we're left with now is going to be sine B over B. Sorry, not sine B over B. Is going to be sine A over A equals sine C over C. Okay, now we know our values, so we can substitute them into this equation that we have. So capital A is x, so we're going to have sine x over lowercase a, which is 20, and that's equal to sine c, so capital C, which is 14, which is 43, so sine 43 over lowercase c, which is 14. Now we're left with a much simpler equation that we're going to be working from. So we're left with this equation. So now all we need to do is to get x by itself. And in order to do that, we need to get rid of this divide by 20. To get rid of something that's dividing on one side, you need to do the opposite of it, which is multiply. You're going to multiply the 20 to the other side. So that gets rid of the 20 on this side. So you're going to be left with sine x equals sine 43 over 14 multiplied by 20. And remember, we don't want sine x, we want just x. And because we want just x, we need to get rid of this sine. And in order to get rid of the sine from one side, we need to do the inverse of sine on the other side. So what we're going to type into our calculator is going to be sine -1 and everything on the other side of the equation. So it's going to be sine 43 over 14 multiplied by 20, and that's going to give you your value for x. Okay, so you can just type that into your calculator. So we've got sine -1, sine 43 over 14 multiplied by 20, close your brackets, and that's going to give you an answer of 76.977937334. Okay, it does say to 3 significant figures, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 7 rounds up, so this will round up as well, so our answer will be 77.0. okay, to 3 significant figures, and that also will be worth 3 marks. Okay, so just to reiterate what we've done, we've gone through the same steps. We've labeled our triangle, we've crossed out the letter which we don't need, and we've discarded it from the equation that we had, and then we've substituted in the numbers that we do know, and then we've rearranged to work out the value of x. Okay, and that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and one last thing, please subscribe and hit the like button.